Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go up to Yakima, Washington, the man that lives just a few doors down from Bob Gimlin, Mr. Bob Hieronimus. Bob, you out there?
Yes, I'm out here.
How are you this evening, good buddy?
Very good, thank you.
Well, I got to tell you, number one, thank you for being here with us. Number two, I am so sorry for what you've gone through, but you know what? I've been right there in the gutters with you because I've been tooting that flute and I've been hearing that song constantly from these people, these haters, these bashers, and they're just disillusioned, Bob. That's the only thing I can come up with.
Yes.
But we're going
it
to
doesn't
get
bother
some
me
kind of
if they think.
I assure you of that. So, what I'd like for you to do, Bob, if you would, tell us the story on how Patterson or Gimlin came to you and asked you to wear this suit, and what they asked you to do, how the whole thing came to play. Would you be kind enough to do that?
Sure, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. I ran around with Bob Gimlin for a while there. We broke a few horses and rode in the mountains quite a bit and chased a few cows. Him and Roger were good buddies. So Roger came up with this idea, about this Bigfoot thing. And, of course, Philip Morris sent him the suit. Well, Bob came to me one day and said, we're looking for a strong guy, that could wear this suit. He said, and not, tell anybody. So he said, if you'd come up there and put the suit on, and go to California and do the film, we'll give you $1,000. Well, I said, that's, I was 26 years old, single, and, $1,000 for a 10-minute film or whatever it was. Sure, I'd do that. So I went up to Roger's place up there on the South Fork of Tampico and tried the suit on, and he showed me how he wanted me to walk. Well, everybody says I walk that way anyway, so it was no problem, And he said that's just exactly the way I want it. So a while later, they came by. They were heading for California. They came by and picked up one of my horses and took off for California, and they said, well, meet us down there, like this is on a Sunday, meet us down there on a Wednesday at a gas station there in the little town there, and at 5 o'clock. So I took off out of here, it's about a 14-hour drive down there, and I pulled in there exactly at 5 o'clock, and Bob or Roger, I forgot, I think it was Bob, come over to the car and said, there's a pull-off down the road here a ways. He said, go down there and wait for us. We don't want to have people seeing me talk to you, the three of us together. So I took off and went down the road there, and then pretty soon here they came. And like I say, we went up the Bluff Creek there. It wasn't very far. I had a car, so the road wasn't really, really bad. So we got up there where they had a camp set up, and we pulled off the road there and hid the car in a bunch of buckbrush. We piled a brush around it, so that nobody would see it from the road. And we went to sleep there, and the next morning we got up and saddled the horses and put the suit was in a big gunny sack, so Roger carried it behind his horse, and I jumped on behind Bob and my horse, and we rode up, I don't know, half a mile or whatever. And this is a place they had picked out when they first got there. And so they helped me put the suit on, and Roger said, okay, go over to this tree over here, and he said, when I tell you to start walking, do your walk. Well, he claimed that my horse was bucking, but my horse didn't know how to buck, but he was jiggling the film up and down. That's why you see it was, jumping up and down. Anyway, he finally stopped, and as I was going by, and we had already determined when I would turn my head and look at him and keep on walking. Well, so I kept on walking through there, and they stopped the film, and there was a big old blowed-off tree there. And I jumped down in that hole in that, and it was hot, And I think it was around the end of September, around the 1st of October, right in that area. And I was sweating, my God, it was terrible hot. And I was also afraid somebody was going to shoot me, walking down through there. So I yelled, get this son of a bitch off me. And they come running over there and jerked the head of it off and then got me out of it. And we ended up going back to camp, and Roger handed me this envelope with a film in it. He said, take this to Eureka, California.
Before you do that, before you tell the audience about that, let's go back to the time that you were walking, before you took the hood off, and before you even came up there, he asked you to do something. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but he says to you, do you still have that thing that was between your there's two things above your nose there. What do you call those? Your
eyes, man.
Your eyes. There you go. And what did he ask you to do?
I have a prosthesis eye, and I had 2 or 3 extra ones, and that was my suggestion. I said, okay, Roger, when I turn to look at you, if you would take one of these eyes and mold it in the right side, when I turn to look at you, this eye will be looking right straight at you. And sure enough, he said, that's a hell of an idea. And he went ahead and put the molded eye in there. And as you can see on the film in the close-up, my right eye is protruding out so you can see it. And the left eye is sunk back in there, ½ inch or inch or whatever is inside.
That's the one that glistens in the sun, right?
That was my prosthesis eye.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that out to the audience because a lot of people have been asking.
Nobody knew this for a long time. In fact, Greg Long finally wriggled it out of me. I wasn't going to tell anybody. That was my kind of what you call an ace in the hole. But you got your scientists and all those guys would take a look at that. They think a little bit different.
So, who helped you on with the waders to make the hips and the padding, the pillow in the back by the butt?
I sat down on a log and pushed my feet in, into the suit like I don't know, we put on a snowmobile suit or something, and then I zipped it up in the back and combed the hair across the zipper, and then they put the last part was the head went on.
What about the shoulder pads?
The shoulder pads were no football shoulder pads he got from high school up here. Some beat up ones. So.
Okay. And what about?
And then if you really look.
You what?
If you really look at the film on my right hip, you'll see a square little thing sitting down there. That was my damn wallet sticking out. Well, these scientists can't figure that out, or so.
Let me ask you this: how did you make the arms look so much longer going down there too?
They were the arms were longer than my arms because he put some like a glove inside there, and a stop where when my hand come down to touch them, they were 6, 8, 10 inches longer, or whatever it was in my real arms. Those were just extensions on there.
Okay. All right. So now after they stopped filming, and we found out now this film did not get shot. It was either at the end of September or the 1st of October, so it was not shot on the 20th of October like they said.
They said they shot it on the 20th of October, which I don't think it was. But they also said that they showed the film in L.D.L.'s house on October the 20th. How could that be when the film had to go to California to get developed, supposedly, and sent back to Al?
Now, that's correct. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the time factor here, okay? It don't jive. So who was the one that took that film and put it to the post office to get sent off to get developed?
I don't know. I took the film to Eureka, California, and mailed it to Aldi Atlee.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So
and I could have beat I could have beat it back, the film back, and delivered it before the mail could, really. But
okay, so you're the one after the film was taken. They gave it to you in your trusty hands to go
I took it to Eureka, California, and mailed it to Al. Yes.
That's right. So you went to Eureka, California, to the post office. Is that correct?
Right.
And you mailed it to his brother-in-law, Aldi Atlee, back in Washington.
Right.
Okay? and that was supposedly around that time. So it would be, if the timeline was the end of September, ladies and gentlemen, see if you can follow this story, or the 1st of October. Now it's 3 weeks later. Okay, it's the 20th of October. They were watching that in Diatley's home, and then this big press conference came out. Oh, my God, look what we shot today. Is that correct?
That's correct, but how could it be filmed on the 20th and shown on the 20th at his house?
That's the whole point, and that's what I'm trying to put in perspective to my audience around the globe, and you're doing a very eloquent job. So when that was all done, where did you go from Eureka, California? Did you go back to Washington?
Yes, I come straight home. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did he pay you the money?
No, I've never got a dime from him. No. But,
did you question him
a couple days later, they showed
when
up.
Are you going to come across with the glue magoo?
Pardon?
Did you ever question Roger or Bob Gimlin and say, hey, when are you going to come across with my money?
Oh, yeah. Me and another kid that saw the suit in the trunk of the car, I didn't tell anybody what that was. I just said, look at this and don't forget what it looks like. Well, they finally figured out, well, that's where you've been for the last, that's a couple weeks later, they said, that's where you were for 2 or 3 days, huh? Anyway, Waylon Jennings, you know, the Western singer?
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings?
Yeah.
Was having a concert down here in town. Well, we went down there, me and a bunch of guys from around here, or by us, and Al Diatley was there, and we were out there dancing, and the dance was over. I asked Al, I said, hey, Al, when you guys ever going to pay me my $1,000? And he said, that's between you and Roger, and that was the end of the conversation.
Yeah. Okay. That's phenomenal, and thank you for being so honest. Same story you've told me.
Well, then, you know, when I mail the film, I come home. Well, a couple days later, they showed up, brought my horse back. Well, they got in the trunk of the car. Well, it wasn't locked or anything, and the keys were in the car, and nobody locked their car around there in them days. And they took the suit out and dropped my horse off, took the suit out, and that's the last I saw of the suit.
Okay. So, let me ask you this. Have you made any money off of the Roger Patterson footage besides the promise of getting $1,000 of wearing the suit, which you never received?
I've never made one dime off that film.
So what do you got to gain by coming out and telling to the world the truth on this film?
Probably nothing, but I just want people to know the truth. That was the biggest.
Now, I understand that you took 2 lie detector polygraph tests. Is that correct?
Right. I took a lie detector test down in the Yakima Police Department. A lieutenant named Jim McCormick was a lie detector guy down there, and I passed that and never missed anything. You know, and not one question. Well, he said guys like us out here don't lie anyway. But and then here a few years later, a few years back, I forgot what year it was, maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago. There was this show on television called Lie Detector. This F. Lee Bailey, the famous attorney.
Yes.
Had that show, and they invited me down there, and I took this Ed Gelb, which was a world famous lie detector guy. He was there. He gave me the lie detector test, and as again, you know, I didn't miss any, or you know, everything was true. So I was on that television show. Well, one episode of it, yes.
You know, I got to tell you something, Bob. Again, I want to apologize to you for all of the injustice that you've gone through. You know, this whole thing set out to be, I don't know, a game, a joke, a hoax, call it what you want, and it's blown up in people's face, in which it's become an icon in reality in this damn business, and it backfired on a few people. Now, there's this famous picture, and ladies and gentlemen, you can see that if you go to the Hoax of the Century on BigfootLive.com. Now, there's a picture of you on a horse. Then the guy that looks like an Indian, is that Gimlin?
Yes, that was Bob Gimlin. He was with us up there at Tampico. We were supposed to be chasing through the woods horseback, a bunch of us.
Okay, and then the one next to Hieronymus looks like it's your brother, Howard.
My brother Howard was there.
Okay, and then there's a guy named Jerry Merritt.
Jerry Merritt. I think he was there, yes.
I've seen him on a horse. And then another guy named John Ballard. And next
John Ballard was there,
Roger
yes.
Patterson.
And Roger, yes.
Yeah, okay, so there was a total of 2, 4, 6 of you.
I think so, yeah, right around there. That was 45, 50 years ago, you know.
That's correct. Here, another guy that comes into play, and the name keeps coming up, is a guy named John Green. You remember that name?
Yeah. He's an asshole as far as I'm concerned.
So he was another one that was intertwined in this, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I don't remember exactly how he was into this thing, but him and then DeHend, and there was 3 or 4 of those guys, you know. That
I remember it well.
Okay, thank you for having me on your